So I'm from New Hampshire, and growing up in 1983, I was 8 years old, and my favorite show, I was only able to watch like 2 hours of television a week. My parents, they were very strict, and one of those hours, it was The Fall Guy, and it was a show starring Lee Majors as Colt Seaver, and he was a Hollywood stuntman, and he was my first idol. I just and like the opening, the song, like he sings, it's like the first person narrative about being this like stuntman and being around like pretty woman, and that was cool. But it was more about the stunts, and like during like there was like a montage of all these like Hollywood like guys jumping out of buildings, hanging onto a helicopter, going around, and then like his narration. So like you feel like you know him, you know what I mean? And like you're like the first. One of the things he says is, well, I'm not the kind of kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. I've never been seen with anything less than a 9, so fine. So, like, he's with all the hot babes. He's a tough guy. He's a man's man. Adam Wade. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted. I want to be that, you know? And, you know, I would, like, jump, while I'd watch the show, I would, like, jump off, like, the couch to the lazy boy chair, and I would do stuff like that. I was 8 years old, and then I started doing a little bit more for attention around my little neighborhood. There was kids. I jumped out of a barn, so it was like 2 stories onto a trampoline. That was like my first stunt, and I cracked my head. I had to go to the emergency room. Then my other one, like the big one, was I literally at my house. There was like 2 flights of stairs that went down, and I just dove down the stairs head first. And I cracked my head, and I went to like the emergency room for stitches like 3 times, like in like 4 months. And my parents were worried, and they're like, you know, you got to settle down. Like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Then my last stunt, what I did was after school, we live like kind of like a cul-de-sac type like street. I rode my bike, my Huffy, into traffic. And it doesn't make sense. I could have got killed, I understand. But it was a stunt, and all the kids were there, and I wanted to entertain. And one of the cars that almost killed me was my dad. And my dad freaked out. He's like, enough of this bullshit. That's enough. I told you no more of this shit. And he took my bike, and he literally, like, had a bike chain, and he locked it down there for a year. So I couldn't, and he's like, you know what you need to do? You need to play some sports. So, I enrolled in Little League and CYO basketball, and I sucked at both. So I might have been better off, popularity-wise, driving into traffic among my teens. But I continued to really enjoy the Fall Guy until it got canceled, and I just always had like a fondness for it. And like my college, I was like a DJ. I went to Keene State College in Keene, New Hampshire, and I had my own radio show. And one, like I would always buy like sound effects CDs and stuff like that. And then they had like different compilations, and they had like TV of the 80s soundtracks. And I bought it, and it was awesome. And because it had the Fall Guy on it. So on my radio show once in a while, I would just put that on. And again, like it's Colt Seaver. So I've been living in Hoboken now for about 10 years, and 5 years ago, I established myself in my basement apartment, and there's like a local bar, and I started going there, and I became like one of the community of that bar, and it's like Cheers, everybody knows everybody, and I was like, I was kind of like the clown / entertainer in the food chain, and there was like the bartenders, and there was one guy named Malibu Nick, and he looked like a Malibu Ken doll. He was like I don't know if he was on steroids, but he was a bit muscular man. He had a beautiful face for a man, and like all the women, like I don't know how many women he slept with in Hoboken, but he did very well. And I usually stayed. I was always kind of like the last person to leave the bar, and I remember him like a few times like, dude, like these 2 women, and I'm like, yeah, there's 2 of them, there's 2 of us. He's like, take off, you know what I mean? So, I mean, Jesus, throw me a bone, So like I would do like a lot of different things to entertain the guys, and the crowd was a few years older than me, so I was like everybody's like younger brother, so I would do stupid shit. Like 3 beers, I'm drunk, and I would just do stupid stuff. They had they went through their phase at the pub with like board games and stuff, and they had Operation I Lit It on Fire. They thought it was like the greatest thing. No, you're not supposed to do that to Operation, but it was like my Hendrix moment. So everybody knew everybody, like I said, and then one night this like hot, like unbelievable blonde came in from like not Malibu, it was like Maui or something, but she was beautiful, like buxom. She got a new job at MTV, and she was new in town, and like everybody was trying to impress her. And I had my 3 beers, and I had a shot of schnapps, and so I was like, I had to do something. So I arranged it that I was gonna do 50 push-ups, and I told her, I was like talking to her. She was like interested, like I don't want to say she was attracted. She was just interested in me, and I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do for you? You're new here. I'm gonna give you the Hoboken Hollywood introduction to Adam Wade. I'm gonna do 50 push-ups for you. And she's like, here at the bar? I go, yeah, but you'll see how I do them. So I pulled up a bar chair, and then I went onto the bar, and then I put my hands on the chair, and I started doing 50 push-ups. And she was like, what the hell is... And everybody, of course, I got everybody's attention at the bar, and they knew it was... So they were counting. And like, look at me, I'm not like a bodybuilder, but I can do push-ups. I'm very good at doing... I'm not going to do them in the bar. I do a lot of push-ups. So like I can do... in the morning, I do... So I'm doing the push-ups. She's looking. She's really intrigued, confused, slightly sexually excited, perhaps. I don't know. And I'm doing them, and like I'm like, I got her. She's mine. And they're counting, and everything is going well, like 49, 50, and I finish, and everybody and the bar just goes crazy. They start yelling, Wade, 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 and I get off, I'm ready to pass out, because now it's like, I can do it sober, but drinking, and like, you know, and it takes me a while, because like that was like the depth-defying thing, and like if I fell off I could like break my face. So like I'm trying to get off, and then they're helping me, the big guys, and I get down, and I'm just totally exhausted, like fatigue, and I just go into like a corner, and like my mind works, but my body's just dead, and I can't do anything. And then I see there's 2 bartenders there, and one's checking out, and I notice it's Malibu Nick, and he takes off his shirt, and now he's got this tank top on. I don't understand why he's doing this. And this tank top says "World's Greatest Uncle." I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And literally, like I'm trying to find the hot blonde, and then I see her, and she's looking at me, and she goes like she didn't say like I want you, I'm gonna have sex with you, but she was like nodding and smiling, and I can't move, and I'm trying to smile with any muscles I have, and then Malibu Nick just goes over to her, says a few words, and then they leave. And like I'm broken, and like this is my night. You know, you could fuck everybody in Hoboken, but finally one time, like I could have her. So I go home, and like I'm good at feeling bad for myself, and like in my mind I got blue balls, even though nothing. So I'm laying on my bed, and when I feel that bad in my basement apartment, I put my headphones on, and I put my iPod on, and I'm just shuffling my sad songs, and they're going, and I'm getting more and more depressed. And then the Fall Guy theme comes on. And like for the first time, like I'm actually like really listening to the lyrics. And when I was little, it was like always like this nice campy thing. This guy's a stuntman in Hollywood. And then, like in the feeling I have, I'm so sensitive in this moment, I'm listening to the song, and it's like the saddest song ever. And then I hear this lyric, and it hits me so hard. I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone fast with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. I die for a living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. That was me. That was me at the bar half hour before. It hit me in the heart. You know, like Lee Major's Colt Seaver's place in Hollywood is my place in the world. But that night, I just kept playing the song over and over again, and he provided me comfort. He was there with me. Thank you, Colt.
It's a death-defying life I lead. I'd take my chances. I'd die for a living in the movies.